Good evening, folks. This is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Wednesday, December 27th at 8:10 p.m. Mountain Time, 2017. Scientists predict mini ice age could hit UK by 2030, and they might be right. Erie, Pennsylvania smashes the state snowfall record with more than 65 inches of snow since Christmas Eve. It looks like fun in the sun and the snow. More lake effect snow in the forecast. That corgi's stuck. Lake effect snow band dumped 4 feet of snow in Erie, PA in just over 1 day's time. This shattered the city's calendar day snowfall record on Christmas Day, no less. Continuing into Tuesday, also clobbering the state's 2-day snowfall, Erie picked up more snow in 30 hours than its previous 13-day snowfall record. And that's a boom. The storm total for the event reached an incredible 65.1 inches. That's the official number as we're doing the video. And more lake effect snow is predicted. Officials declared a snow emergency for the city. And you can read all about it. 62 inches, Redfield, New York breaks a 48-hour Oswego County snow record. Their records are falling everywhere in the Northeast. Carolyn Yurden climbed atop a 15-foot pile of snow Wednesday to celebrate Redfield's unofficial record for the most snow to fall in Oswego County in 48 hours. Boom! Brrr, after record snow, bitter cold ahead for the northern U.S. Freezing temps, below zero wind chills sock much of the northern U.S., setting records in Minnesota. A city so cold it's called the icebox to the nation. Erie, PA digs out from the record. It's going to be chilly. Freezing temperatures and below zero wind chills sock much of the northern United States Wednesday, and that is bringing in International Falls, Minnesota drops to record low of minus 36 Fahrenheit. Guys, at minus 40 Fahrenheit, it's also minus 40 centigrade. That's where they meet. 300 passengers stranded as snow and ice hits travel. There are UK-wide ice warnings after heavy snowfall disrupted post-Christmas travel for airline passengers and road users. All you users of the road, how dare you? Hundreds of people are facing the prospect of spending the night stranded in airports after snow and ice disrupted travel across the UK. A spate of accidents on major roads was followed by problems for air passengers with delays and cancellations at Stansted Airport, sparking a backlash on social media. How dare you allow me to be stranded? Storm brings heavy snow to the mountain regions. This is in Japan. Look at these numbers. He's got a snow mask on or something. A strong snowstorm hits northern Japan, continues to cause widespread chaos in mountainous regions. Up to 1 meter has fallen in 24 hours. In the town of Minakami in Gunma Prefecture, up to 1.31 meters of snow has fallen, while in the town of Sunan in Nagata Prefecture, the level has reached 1.19 meters. 14 cars were involved in accidents. Why would you drive in 1.2 meters of snow? Ho ho. Meanwhile, in Norway, an archaeological dig progresses. Not out of the ordinary. Guys, I posted a video earlier as we have cosmic ray increase penetrating the surface of the Earth, descending into the grand minimum. We are going to have volcanic eruptions on the uptick. Sinabung erupted today, up to 12,000 foot into the atmosphere. Volcanic activity worldwide includes Fuego, Popocatépetl, Dukono, Sinabung, obviously. If you haven't seen the video, I'll leave a link below. Sabancaya as well. The links are down here below where it says Oppenheimer Ranch. Click the show more in gray and you'll get all the links. Now, guys, down here, this also has a nice summary for today of all the currently erupting and minor activity volcanoes worldwide. And there are dozens and dozens of volcanoes currently erupting in a major way and in a minor way. And that's a heads up. It's only going to increase. Stay with us. We're going to be talking about the heartbeat of the sun shortly. Seismic uptick, minor seismic uptick globally. We got a quadrifecta of frac quakes out here. Boom. Cedar City. Boom. Oklahoma. Boom. Trinidad, Colorado. Pecos, Texas. Oh my gosh, I could have never predicted that. Do you inject much toxic waste into the subsurface? Oh yeah, we do. Not settled. Astrophysicists say mini ice age is staying. Well, it hasn't gotten here yet, but it will be staying when it does arrive. The sun, which is eclipsed by the moon here, has nothing to do with the mini ice age. It's just a cool picture. But in May, astrophysicist Pierce Corbin pointed the data that destroys the claim that Earth is undergoing a new warming period. Global warming much? I doubt it. In April, global mean temperatures in both the northern and summer hemispheres dropped substantially, and this prompted him to say the mini ice age is here to stay. Well, guys, this is not the only article that I want to point out today, because coming out today just 8 hours ago from the Daily Mail, plummeting temperatures could send the world into a mini ice age in 2030 and could override global warming. Global warming is a natural cycle. Nothing is being overridden. We're just going to fall off the cliff as predicted. Temperatures will start dropping in 2021. No, they're going to start dropping now, and they are, according to a mathematical model. This, they say, will lead to a phenomenon known as the Maunder minimum. No, it's not going to lead to that phenomenon. The Maunder minimum already happened. I can't believe how stupid these people are. Okay, let's go to the statistical analysis done by Zarkova and Popov, the heartbeat of the sun. And here you are with the arbitrary sinusoidal wave graphs coming in and out of phase. And if I want to take you back here to 1600 and 1800, during this period here, which is called the Little Ice Age, you could see the wave amplitude is canceling each other out. This complete cancellation of the wave amplitude in this region is called the Maunder minimum, which already happened. I wish there were fact checkers in the world. The Maunder minimum is in the past, from 1650 to 1730. The past. You can't have it again in the future. We're going into the Eddy minimum, which is like the Maunder minimum, but you can't have the same thing. These people are idiots. So here you see the wave cancellation that we're going into. This is cycle 24, followed by 25 and 26 in here. 25 appears to be more flat than the Maunder minimum, and that's a heads up based on wave amplitude. So we're looking at least 20 or 30 years going into a maximum, a major shift in the climate, unlike anyone has ever seen. So these articles are well-deserved. There's very few links. They don't even link to the Zarkov paper, which kind of sucks, but I'm going to link you to it. Now, the mini ice age would freeze major rivers, could hit Britain in less than 2 decades, according to research from universities in the UK and Russia. A mathematical model of the sun's magnetic activity suggests temperatures could start dropping from off here from 2021, with the potential for winter skating on the River Thames by 2030. A team led by maths Valentina Zarkova at Northumbria University built on work from Moscow to predict the movements of 2 magnetic waves produced by the sun. Guys, I'm going to give you the link to the paper, which is Heartbeat of the Sun from Principal Component Analysis and Prediction of Solar Activity at a Millennial Timescale. It's the full paper. You should peruse it. You could get through this one. It's the layman can do it. This is the graph I used. You can click on the full-size image here. You can see where they did their data analysis, the data set they used. Here's the predicted summary wave from the principal analysis. They use this waning section here to predict the future and the wave amplitude. Now, if you come to this particular picture, the Maunder and the Dalton minimum are a much higher amplitude than where we're headed. And that's a bad news. So at the bare minimum, we're going to be repeating Dalton and Maunder minimum type climatic events. But at the extreme, it's going to be unpredictable, the likes of which we've never seen during solar cycle 26. Pure glaciation is what I'm getting from that amplitude there. Pretty scary. But we have time to prepare. There's plenty of time to prepare. I'll leave you links to all these articles. Another study is finding potential instability in the Atlantic Ocean and water circulation system, which will cause this entire grand minimum to be epic. And these glaciers may be off the coast of North Carolina coming soon. Slowdown in sun puzzles astronomers. Yeah, because they're not paleoclimatologists like me. And they're puzzled because they don't understand the data, which is kind of sad. It's very obvious what's happening. We're headed into another grand solar minimum based on many factors. And it's not going to be called the Maunder minimum. It's already named the Eddy minimum. You can call it the Landscheid minimum, but I prefer the Eddy minimum in honor of Jack Eddy. Now, tough times in the heartland as some farmers hit by losses way exiting the business. This is bad news. There's already been the crop losses hitting the Midwest, and the subsidies not covering them are causing these farmers, the ones that are actually growing food, to question whether they can even stay in the game. And this does not bode well. I'll leave you links to this. And this is because this is coming from Armstrong Economics. The approaching famine. The most serious forecast that we see from our computer models has been a rise in agricultural prices caused by global cooling. Guys, we just covered this. A tropical flower farmer in Ethiopia has noticed global cooling affecting his crops. He has to build hoop houses. And Armstrong Economics knows that in their forecast models, a rise in agricultural prices caused by global cooling, not global warming, is going to be happening. Crops cannot grow without the sun and water. Historically, when the weather turns cold, the crops fail. There's tons of graphs here on the historic price of wheat, starting all the way from the Crimean War and through the Maunder Minimum, Little Ice Age. There's no question that food prices will rise during periods of war when crops cannot be planted and armies require food on a priority allotment. Here's the year without a summer. Look at the spike in wheat. Coming to a spike in wheat near you. I hope you guys went long on wheat. However, Mother Nature sticks her finger into the pot to stir things up. The famine cycle is also an 8.6-year frequency, but the volatility aspect comes in units of 12 rather than 6. Now, what does that mean in layman's terms? Our database on wheat from 1259 forward, excluding our data on the Roman Empire grain prices, reveals that there is a serious risk of famine from 2020 onward. It appears that we may very well enter a 12-year rally into the year 2032. Our bifurcation models are reflecting also a gap in time between 2020 and 2031, suggesting a trend appears to last for that period of time. This is an 11-year global famine starting in 2 years. The charts don't lie. Sell your Bitcoin in a year and a half and buy all the canned goods you need because the world is going to starve. The downside of taxation, and particularly inheritance taxes, has driven farmers to sell their land to conglomerates just to pay the inheritance taxes. That's what's going on here in the heartland. This has resulted in genetically altered crops increasing yield. While genetically altered crops do not really appear to present a major health concern, their toxicity is obvious. When you drench a crop in glyphosate and neonicotinoids, which are killing the bee populations, and then feed it to your children, come on. 94% of the world's edible seed varieties have vanished because of GMOs. And that's going to lead to more starvation and a worse famine than this world has ever seen. Today, 75% of the world's food comes from only 12 plants and 5 animal species. Boom! We have hundreds of species of food here, and you better be collecting your own because it's coming. And the charts don't lie. They never have. History is the key to the future. The past is the key to survival. In 1679, French physicist Denis Papin, better known for his studies on steam, invented the steam digester. In 1679. Because everyone was starving to death at the onset of the Maunder Minimum. Exactly what the charts are predicting happening in a few years. Now this digester was critical. It's now called the pressure cooker because it was a way to get nutrition out of bones. There was no food and they needed nutrition. So by putting bones in the pressure cooker, you could extract that nutrition into the broth. Think about it. Is it all coming Is it all making sense? They needed this to live. Steam digesters were invented because the whole population was starving and all they had was a pile of bones in the backyard to eat. And this is at the onset of the Maunder Minimum, which is where we're headed in the next decade. The onset of the Eddy Minimum. The Maunder Minimum already happened, and we should be learning from it. Not publishing articles that show how stupid we are. Guys, there's an object flying by in the next 24 hours, a newly discovered asteroid designated 2017 YZ4. And it's going to be close. Watch this, baby. Oh, here it is. There's the kiss of death, although it will be a half of an astronomical unit away. But it will be in close proximity of many planets for several days. And that's a heads up. Asteroid 2017 YZ4 to fly by Earth at 0.58 lunar distance on December 28th. Guys, I hope you got something out of the video. Figure 3, the predicted summary wave, is showing obvious cancellation in wave amplitude, causing a complete collapse of solar output that doesn't even compare to the Maunder or the Dalton minimum, which is why the pressure cooker was invented. Start collecting seeds. Start preparing now. Preparation prevents piss-poor performance. The powers that be don't give an F about you. You better give an F about you if you think you're going to make it. There are ways to survive and thrive in the future. The biggest threat to a corrupt system is an educated public. Start educating yourself. Be safe, everybody.